All right, 12:03. Let's get started. Hi, everyone. As you likely know, I'm Adam Fritz. I'm the CEO of Pozotron, and welcome to the Pozotron Power Users webinar. Thank you very much for joining. Johnny, go ahead and introduce yourself if you'd like.
Sure, yeah. I'm Johnny. I'm Pozotron's customer outreach manager. So hopefully today we can share some tips and tricks to get the most value out of Pozotron. But yeah, great to meet you. Thanks for joining.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's get started. So what is a power user? So our goal today is to teach you essentially how to be more efficient in Pozotron. At the baseline level, it's pretty easy to figure out how to use Pozotron. I like to tell our team that my dad is a 73-year-old family doctor, pretty computer savvy as far as 73-year-olds go. But the idea is he should be able to figure out how to do everything inside of our tool within no more than 10 minutes. However, as you get more and more adept at using our tool, the goal is that you're going to go down further and further and further and understanding all the different levels of customization you can have inside of Pozotron. So those include, mouse versus keyboard shortcuts, combined keystrokes, minimum transition time between doing things. And we are actually currently undergoing a project where we're going to be redoing our user experience and our user interface to make that even easier, especially as you go between tools like the script prep tools in pre-production through recording and proofing. So that's the goal, that we're going to really make that easier for you. Really, the idea is if your boss was standing over your shoulder, if you do have a boss and staring at you, making sure you waste as little time as possible. And that's really the whole goal of Pozotron, is to make sure you're not wasting any time in your audio productions. And then there's a lot of personal side to becoming a power user. That's the same keyboard shortcuts may not be as comfortable for some people as others, and other things. So really, we're just trying to get everything today is about being efficient. Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about is creating a new project. So there's a bunch of fields here and just explaining, and so you understand exactly what each of them are. So project title, pretty obvious there. What I would recommend is create some sort of naming convention. Even if you're just an individual narrator who's doing projects one by one, really make sure you're naming all your projects in the same way. So that way your sort's going to work correctly. You can do that using, numerical IDs or customer names or that kind of thing. It will really help, especially as you get into, having hundreds of projects inside of Pozotron. Your project settings, this is ISBN and ID number. This is just another opportunity to really find new ways to sort your list and search, especially as you get into a high volume of projects inside of our tool. And then one thing you can actually, when you have created a project, just to note, Johnny, you can see my Pozotron screen here. Okay.
Yep, looks good.
You can actually go in here to this edit details button. And then you can actually add things like a customer, an internal due date, and a final project due date, and customize the status and actually add some notes. So one thing that is a bit of a mea culpa, there isn't anywhere to actually see the notes on this page. So if I had added that, it doesn't actually currently show up anywhere on here. That is going to change in future. You would have to actually click on showing here to understand that. To see those notes. But in terms of customer, when you go into, if you add that customer field, this is where you can actually sort all of your projects by customer. So I could click here, get the Q&A box in the way, click here and go sort by project customer, and then you can actually see everyone on your list in terms of all your projects based on customer. And unfortunately, it's not showing on my screen there because I only have a couple customers listed there, but just an opportunity to really sort your list and organize your projects better. Okay, project settings. So we are adding some more things coming soon, but right now, of course, now I'm going to go by find. Why can't I find demo project? There we go. Okay. See, I just showed exactly why you should be using good naming conventions rather than just demo project 2023. Okay, so what was it? Project settings. So currently we actually have an estimates tool that will show you kind of the estimate on how long this project is going to take in terms of amount of time to narrate, proof, and edit. We are eventually going to be making this so it is, instead of just industry estimates, which is, for example, narration, 3 hours of work to record 1 finished hour of audio. The goal is that's going to become based on real data. And so the more and more that you do things inside of Pozotron, the more accurate your estimates in your project scheduling is going to become. So that's something that is going to get updated. And then sensitivity settings. So you can see here on the right, we've now launched 2 separate sensitivity settings, one for proofing sensitivity, relaxed, normal, and extra sensitive. And proofing sensitivity here means words. So missed words, added words, mispronunciations, that kind of thing, and pauses as well. And then noise detection sensitivity affects, obviously, our noise detection algorithm. Generally, from relaxed to normal and normal to extra sensitive, each step up you go, it'll increase your number of annotations or suggested pickups by about 25 to 33%. It depends on the voice, exactly how many, depends on the voice, the style of speaking, that kind of thing. But generally, you're looking at 25 to 33% increase. Okay, project page. So one thing to note here, we will often update this, and by we I mean Johnny will update this with new release notes, new things that we've added, promote upcoming webinars and that kind of thing. So I would recommend pay attention to this. You can actually hide it, but if you haven't hidden it, you can unhide it, and then what you can do is, we will, if there's any important updates, we will put them in there. We also have a way to notify you on account issues. So you'll see a little blue bar at the top here that will actually sometimes be a very important message, like you haven't paid an invoice, or we've got a software outage or something like that. Generally, the blue bar is not good news, but the good news here comes up in this welcome message. Another thing, if you ever do have questions inside of Pozotron, feel free to use this book a video demo. It will give you a link directly into Johnny and my calendar, and I believe Daria as well, and be able to book a meeting anytime that we have available over the next 3 rolling weeks. So I would suggest using that as well.
And one thing on that, it says book a demo, but really if you have any questions just about a particular piece of Pozotron, that's really just a way to get in touch with us and hash out anything you're running into. So not just a full demo. We're always happy to hop on a call.
Exactly, and absolutely no cost to that as well. Already covered this, information fields like customer, due date, status. If you have other information that you would like to include here, please send us an email. We're always open to new ideas. But the goal here, again, your project's searchable and sortable much easier. Statistics. Okay, so this is one that a lot of people don't necessarily see. So I'm on list view. It does not show up on the card view, but on list view, what you can see here on the right is, and Johnny, I'm just going to close the Q&A box, so if anything comes up, please just flag it for me. So you can actually see here the script count. So this is the number of words counted in your manuscript and the number of words counted in your audio. So here you can see I've uploaded 400 more words almost in audio than in the script. That means I likely duplicated some content, generally a red flag. Or alternatively, so here for Peter Pan, there's almost 51,000 words in the script. I've only uploaded 1,800 words of audio. This is a really designed for a quick check. One of the worst things that can happen, obviously, you forget to record or submit a chapter of audio in an audiobook. The goal here is it's a quick visual check to see if you've missed anything. Number of research words are the number of suggestions, and annotations are the number of suggested mistakes. So you can see here, there are 211 annotations. So those are those suggested pickups before you've marked them as okay or pickup in 7,200 words in your audio. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. Don't hesitate to stop me if you have any questions. Oop. Completion, I think that probably says completion percentage, but the Zoom bar is in the way. My Zoom drives me nuts. So completion percentage, this is something that is, I just mentioned on that estimates page, but this is going to be updating. So currently, for example, this will update live. So narration, for example, here, if you've got 10,000 words in your script and you've uploaded 8,000 words in your audio, that's going to show 80%. And then that's also going to show here in this completion percentage. Currently, this is only manually editable, so not particularly helpful, but that is in our next version of project management that we roll out in a month-ish. That'll start updating automatically, which should be a big help, especially at a global view. If you've got a bunch of projects going on at once, you will be able to view here exactly where each of your projects are. Okay, now we're getting into the actual production side of things. So pronunciation and character voice guides. So we do have hotkeys if you're not aware of them. So I'm going to go back into my project here. The hotkeys for pronunciation and characters come in on the suggestions page. So you can click R to add to research or I to ignore on your keyboard. So it's always going to interact with the top word on your list. R for research. And of course, I'm working on some slow internet today. I for ignore. So you can parse through a list really quickly using those two hotkeys. Another thing that we've added as well is if you've ever had an issue where maybe there's one word that Pozotron continually suggests, like algorithm here, you just know how to pronounce it and it comes up in a ton of your books, you can actually click here and click ignore all occurrences of the word, and that will add that to on your profile. If you go in here, you can go to proofing and prep, and this is the list of words that will always be ignored in your list of words on your pronunciation lists in future. So very, very useful tool there. Importing word lists. So if you say your customer has given you or your, the author or whoever, oh, Bob McCoy, question. Let me just allow you to talk here, Bob. Hey, Bob. Unmute your mic and ask your question.
Got it. I am kind of curious on the word count
Yes.
when you guys are evaluating it. For instance, if I have a document and it's giving a year like 1943, and typically in Word, that would be one word, but it's actually three words, 1943. So do you have any idea how they're handling that on the back end in terms of counting words?
So it counts whatever the actual entry in your pronunciation guide is. So for example, if I add Sherlock here, and then I add Sherlock Holmes, the counts should be different once they actually count, because this is only going to count the occurrences with both Sherlock and Holmes together. This one, Sherlock, is only going to count Sherlock. So if there's times that just Sherlock is mentioned without Holmes, the counts should be different.
Yeah, but in terms of the project estimates, 1943 is just one. It's just four digits.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going on the project estimates.
Yeah, and in terms of the text versus the spoken.
Yes. So if you say 1940, that's actually a good question. I don't know, Johnny. If you can take I'll see with the devs. My guess would be, my bet is that it will count 1943 as three separate words. But that is something I never thought about. So good question.
Okay.
But we'll ask and we'll send you an email, Bob. Cool. Okay.
Would the normalization affect that? Like, would it count it as one word, or would it be three separates?
I don't.
Double check.
Refrain putting my foot in my mouth, I'm going to. Okay. So importing word lists. So there's a couple ways you can do it. So you can go import, export, import. Well, so first you can add custom words one at a time up here. So that's how I added Sherlock and Sherlock Holmes here. You can also import a list. So I could type in add a whole bunch of words there and click save. This used to be limited to one word per line, but now we've actually supported being able to do that through multiple words on one line. You can also import a list. So what you can do here is you can click on this here button, this here link, which will actually export a Excel version of your word list. And I'm just going to have to share that screen here. So this creates this here. And then what you can do is you can actually have, if you have a list, you can format, you can just add words here. Ryder Cup on my mind here. And you can actually add in pronunciations here. So I'm just going to add some random stuff here. And then you're going to click save. And then okay, and I'm going to go in here, import it, and then that should import those three words I added and update. There you go. So you can see it also added the phonetics there. So that is a way, if you have someone who doesn't want to work inside of Pozotron, is just looking to use it in Excel, you can actually send them that Excel, have them add in words onto that list, add in the phonetic text pronunciations, and import it, and it'll actually import that into Pozotron exactly as you put it. Okay, exporting options. So here is where things get interesting. I'm going to go spreadsheets versus online and offline packets first, and then I'll get into transfer research. So there are some different exports you can use, obviously. So you can export to Excel, just like I just showed you. You can do that here, or we just made it. There's a way to do that from the import from Excel dialog box as well. But when you're exporting the pronunciation packet, that is essentially a read-only version of this. So your export pronunciation packet here will actually download a zip file with MP3 files for every single one of your recorded pronunciations, and an HTML file to open up an offline version of this exact page you're seeing. But another version of that is you can actually click the Share Online Packet button here, copy that URL, and just like the pickup packet on the proofing side of things, you can send this to whoever you need to see it. And this, again, is just a read-only version that can play the audio and see the details, but not change anything. So a couple different exports there that just makes Pozotron, a powerful way to collaborate. Now, transfer research is one that we're continuing to improve, because we have one specific customer who uses this a ton, as they have a number of huge IP worlds, essentially, that they're creating constant audiobook content for, and they're having to transfer lists back and forth. And what you're going to do here is, let's say I've got demo project 2023, and I want to transfer that to the demo project 2024. In this case, I think I only have a demo project 2022 project here, but I'm going to go into the first project that I want to transfer from, go import, export, transfer research. I'm going to go demo project 2022, select transfer. And then this has now transferred all 15 words and all of this information into that other project. You'd have to do it separately, pronunciation and character guide, just because we don't want to make people forced to transfer both if they want. So you just have to do it in two separate movements, but really easy there. In the event then, so if I go into demo project 2022 right here, I can then also use this eyeball here. So currently it defaults to not showing the words with no occurrences. I can use this here. Now it's only showing 87 words. So I had 1,500 words. Now it's hidden every word that's not actually found in the script. So there's an easy way there of transferring research between projects, and then not having to sort through 1,500, in that case, 1,500 words that were not actually in that book. One other thing we are building very soon, one thing we are building, and it should be rolled out very soon, is the actual internal account dictionary. So if you've got a certain character name or word that continues to come up, and for whatever reason, Pozotron, you have to redo it every time, you're going to be able to add that word to your account dictionary, which if a word is not found in Merriam-Webster or Oxford, for example, it'll then pull from your custom dictionary. So just another way of you creating that running list of words, either because you have a different pronunciation for it, or it's character names that are not found in a regular dictionary. Okay, finally, integrated dictionaries. We have three options. I need to find my project again. First one being, we've just added Merriam-Webster. We have had a couple questions about the email we sent out. This is currently free, but this integration was extremely, extremely expensive to add. So it is likely that using Merriam-Webster will be a slightly more expensive charge moving forward. No exact date on that, but likely early next year or very end of this year. That'll come to a small surcharge for using Merriam-Webster. We have Merriam-Webster, Oxford US, Oxford UK, and Forvo. If you are looking for non-English languages, you can click on Forvo, and we do support English, Spanish, German, French, and Swedish, with many more languages to come here. And in some languages, like English and Spanish, for example, you can actually customize the accent. And I believe in all languages, you can customize a male or female speaker as well. One thing to note here, if, for example, I wanted the Canadian male pronunciation of golf, for example, or sorry, hockey is what I meant. That's shocking. Nothing is found. That's a national embarrassment.
A surefire way to disappoint a Canadian.
Here we go. Let's try it again. There we go. Only a female had recorded that info, but just an easy way to customize exactly what you're looking for.
Adam, quick note, we aren't hearing the audio come through. At least I'm not. So there might be
I had to customize something. All good. Yeah, should work now. Here, I'll do that again.
Hockey.
There it is.
One of the peculiarities of using Zoom sometimes. Okay, proofing page. So we do have, file labeling. For any of you who don't know, you can actually make it so Pozotron will, in two ways, Pozotron will automatically tag at narrator 1 or at narrator 2 or any tag you want automatically in all pickups marked in a certain chapter. And you have to add at narrator 1 at the very end of your file name before you upload it to Pozotron. So we had someone reach out on the support ticket the other day saying this wasn't working, but that's because unfortunately they just after uploading the audio, they went in and changed this to, that does not work. It has to be in the actual file name when you upload that file. And then what that will do, that will automatically tag whichever tag you include at the end in every single pickup in that chapter. You can also do that using the project team. Here, if you do have a publisher level account, you can use that project team where you actually assign individual narrators to each chapter, and then it'll actually tag at Johnny F, at narrator J in each of those tags. So there's two separate ways you can do that. If you do not currently have a publisher plan and would like to inquire about how to use this project team functionality to assign, narrators, proofers, soon to be editors and other roles and tag people accordingly, please shoot us an email and we're happy to show you how that all works. Okay, proofing page. So let me go back into, reset this project here. So we do have hotkeys for proofing. You can always find if we do have any hotkeys available. You can find it by clicking up here. You can see we have A for OK, D for pickup, F for filter out, G for typo. So that's generally A, D, F, G with your left hand on the keyboard, space bar for play or pause, and then you can use the comma and period to jump forward and back 5 seconds, which does allow for what I'm going to show you next, which is spot check speed mode. So I'm going to show you that, and then I'll get back into the user tags. So spot check speed mode. Basically, this allows you to jump through a ton of audio really quickly. What you're going to do, you're going to click up here on this first annotation on the left. It's going to go yellow. I'm going to click spacebar to play.
Version 2.
Going to click A
Positrons,
for OK.
Including words accidentally added into the script by the narrator
D
from
for
the
pickup.
script. Of
D.
course, it will find misperceptions and seconds. Noises, including audio distortions, synthetic sound issues, and noises, including audio distortions, synthetic sound noises like a dog barking,
Pickup.
siren, lifts the quality discrepancies of to listen to.
You can see you can use that speed mode to really jump through those pickups very, very quickly. You can go through an hour of audio in less than 5 minutes, especially useful if you're going to run a second pass in Pozotron, for example. I am not saying don't listen to your full audio. That's always recommended. But if you're just looking to do a quick spot check, very, very fast way to get through that. User and tag types. So we do have a full list of all of our things you can tag at support.pozotron.com. Hopefully if I search tag, there we go. This has a list of every single tag you can include. If you do have any suggestions, send us an email. We should be able to add it with a couple small limitations. But another thing to note here is you can just use shortcuts. So if I want to do narrator 1, I don't have to type in narrator 1. I just have to put the number 1 there. Click enter. If I want to do editing, E. If I want to do misread, I can just do MI. So very simple way to use those shortcuts to tag things. Also, one other thing we've added recently, I don't know if anyone noticed when I went into my profile page, is you can also set all, you can do here, if you click this, all noise pickups, all noises that you mark as pickups will automatically be tagged with @editing. So you'll be able to separate that out on your spreadsheet, in your proofing packet, I should say. So very, again, easy, quick way to ensure that all of your noises are separated on your pickup packs and they don't go to the narrator if you don't want them to. Annotation filters. Here's another good one. This, I have to give credit to Ryan Hicks, the traveling Brazilian. And what this allows you to do is you can actually sort your annotation column here by showing or hiding certain types of annotations. So for example, I can hide I can only show, for example, open annotations. And that means something that hasn't had OK or pickup clicked on it yet. Or you can show only Pozotron created pickups, for example, or user created pickups. So that user created meaning using this functionality here. So a really interesting way to be able to go through, there we go, a really interesting way to be able to go through and sort just for certain types of mistakes that you're looking for. Export options. So another thing a lot of people don't know is you can actually export most of our reports for a chapter, for only a chapter, and we are releasing a function possibly this week. It might have been in bug week, I'm not sure. That will allow you to select only export for certain chapters in a book. But to do a chapter specific export, you're going to click on this 3-dot menu here, click Export Chapter, and then you're going to be able to just choose the proofing report, which is the Excel pickup report, the pickup packet, which is the online version, or DAW markers just for that specific chapter. Okay, and then obviously you're using this import export for the entire project up here. DAW markers. So when you're exporting your DAW markers, we do support pretty much every export, every DAW that most people will use, but the only one we haven't been able to make work yet is Logic. You can select your DAW. In certain DAWs, I believe Audition, Reaper, Audacity, and one more, you can actually do single marker, which is just the beginning, or marker range, which shows the beginning and end of your pickup. And then you can also customize the timestamp, so the start of the book for the entire project or the start of the chapter. And then you can also include or exclude slate numbers, which is obviously the little number of each pickup, starting at 1 at the very first one, all the way down to however far you go. Online and offline packets. So this is something that I think is really useful as well, very similar to that annotation column. You can only export a pickup packet for certain types of mistakes or certain types. Let me just go in here and create some pickups here with a tag in it. One and 2. And then you can actually export only pickups you can export a pickup packet specifically for individual people. So if I go here, pickup packet, I should be able to include, yes. So only pickups for narrator 1, only for narrator 2, or for editing. Then also just, you can only export a pickup packet with inserted or misreads or missing. So a very easy way to be able to customize exactly what pickup packet you want, and you can also do the exclude as well. Same thing, you can set the timestamps and narration context. Just a lot of customizability. We're trying to be a Swiss Army knife here. Okay, any questions before I barrel forward?
No questions in there, but Kiani, I did reply via text, but we will definitely be sending out a recording of the webinar, most likely on Monday. I don't know if I'll be able to get it up today, but next week we'll be sending out to everyone who registered, so you'll definitely get a recording.
Cool. Thank you, Johnny. Okay, so pickup recording tool, I guess I forgot to put a picture on this slide, does allow you to record your pickups. Maybe not. Does allow you to record your pickups in Pozotron. We've had a bunch of new updates to this tool. So when you've got pickups tagged, you click on pickup recording, and this will actually load very similar to the pickup packet. Get a little smaller here. We are working on the look and feel of this, but you can play the original recording. We'll show the waveform there.
Including words accidentally added into the script by the narrator.
And you can see it actually will add the words here up over the waveform. And then I'm going to delete that one. I can record this. Including words added into the script by the narrator. I can click play, and then I can actually compare. Including words added into the script by the narrator. Compare waveform. So obviously here it's on a little bit different scale because one was long and one was short, but interesting way that we're playing around with to be able to visually compare those pickups against each other. You can also then send these for approval. So for example, I can click approve here, or I can request changes. You are a CEO, not a narrator. Do this. And then you can click save. And then we are going to be adding the ability to do threaded comments as well.
And one thing to add there, Adam, you are also able to upload, if you do record in your DAW, you can upload those snippets to the pickup recording tool as well. So it's customizable there. You don't have to record it in there, but you can upload it just for organizational purposes as well.
Exactly, and that's that blue right beside the start recording. You can upload the file, and you can also download the individual pickup files from here as well. And it is sorted by chapter. These ones don't have pickups yet. And then in terms of downloads, this does give you the option to download all recorded pickups that you either uploaded to Pozotron or downloaded or recorded in Pozotron, or just the approved pickups, so just the ones that you or someone else has listened to and clicked approve on. Cool. Finally, audio analysis. So this does allow you, another new tool we've added that, again, just like the pickup recording tool, is currently free of charge. So it allows you to upload your mastered, well, really any audio, but we would suggest your final mastered audio files, select your test preset. So actually, we just added Find Away Voices today because we came across their distribution specs. But you can choose your distributor, upload your audio, click Show Analysis, and this will test your files against each of those test specifications. You can also create your own test preset. So click there, and you'll be able to customize based on title, file format. You can toggle for only allowing alphanumeric file names, audio channel, bit rate, duration, file duration, sample rate, sample peak, true peak, RMS, noise floor, room tone, top and tail duration, file size, minimum and maximum. You can check for missed chapters, which will actually, as long as you've named your files sequentially 1 through 100, it'll tell you if you actually missed any of those numbers. And then there's also, you can create a file name template, which will allow you to, and here's some naming convention guidelines on how to do it. But, for example, if it needs to be number, underscore, just text or dates or anything like that, it does allow you to test for that as well. So this is a really interesting tool that quite a few people are using right now, but a final check to make sure what you're using or what you're exporting and going to upload to your distributor is going to pass muster with them. We do currently have ACX, Audiobooks Unleashed, Authors Republic, and Find Away Voices. If you do have any other suggestions, please let us know. As you can see, since I wrote this presentation earlier, we've added Find Away Voices since then. So,
Adam, got a quick question from Emma. She said she recently uploaded a book for analysis, and it's giving an error under duplicates. What does duplicate mean?
Well, that is actually a bug. So I believe duplicates is supposed to check to make sure you didn't upload the same audio file twice. So if you have a folder of chapters 1 through 50 of your book, and the last thing you do is upload them to Pozotron to make sure, if you've duplicated chapter 9, for example, it'll give you a flag to say this chapter is in the book twice. But unfortunately, one small bug in the way that test was written shows a bunch of random ones as duplicates when they are not. So that is a bug, and it will be fixed, I believe, on our release next Wednesday. Unfortunately,
we are currently doing bug week.
Line of code. Yes.
Thanks for your question, Emma.
Okay. Any more questions, Johnny? Anything you'd like to add?
No, happy to answer some questions. And also, if you have any ideas we do webinars pretty much every month, but if there's a particular use case or a particular problem or just an area of Pozotron you'd like to dive in a bit deeper, we're very open to those suggestions. We want to make these webinars as useful as possible. So if there is anything in particular, definitely don't hesitate to let us know. And also a kind of a totally side note, if you happen to be going to Frankfurt for the book fair, we are heading out there in just a couple of weeks, so very excited. And if you're in the area, we'd love for you to stop by and say hello.
Definitely, we'll treat you to some German beer or whatever. Not a lot of, in my experience, there's not a lot of green vegetables I could find in Frankfurt. But Mark, if we get together, maybe you can point me in the right direction. I've got someone's hand. Oh, Emma. Go ahead, Emma.
Hey, so maybe it does this already and I am just unfamiliar, but in the pronunciation guide, so if we choose Merriam-Webster as the first one or as what we want to go for, and it can't find something, how then do we search for another dictionary without changing the dictionary for all of them?
So all you
Does that
need
make
to do,
sense?
I completely understand what you're saying. So all you need to do, you do need to change your dictionary up here at the top. So let's say, for example, so Sherlock Holmes, nothing was found. I'm on Forvo. If I change this to Oxford here, this doesn't research everything else for the book. So you can see here, this is still Merriam-Webster. This is still Forvo. It doesn't change anything unless you click this little button here, update research word, and then it'll search it in the new dictionary. And that is because, so here, so the reason for that is it would create a huge problem if we had 1,500 words on the list and then we change it and then it started to automatically research everything, which is sometimes people say, I would like to be able to update more than one word at a time. We don't really control the speed of that because we basically send a call to the Forvo or the Oxford or whichever API you have selected, and we're limited by the speed at which they respond to us. So if we're sending out 1,500 calls all at once, it's likely that things would get pretty glitchy because we're just waiting for them to send all of those responses back.
Perfect. That makes sense. Thank you. See, Johnny, I'm still learning script prep tools myself.
No problem.
Good
We're always
question.
learning. You can use the one-click links as well. We do have all the regular dictionaries on the right-hand side, so you can just click to search in Oxford or Forvo or anything like that. But yeah, that little spinny wheel is easy to miss, so I don't blame you, Emma.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
No problem. Good question. All right. Last call for questions, and then we'll let you all go enjoy your weekends. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining this webinar. For any friends or colleagues who weren't able to join, we will be posting this on our YouTube page and emailing it out to everyone who registered, whether or not they were able to join. So you will get that probably uploaded. I'm assuming, Johnny, you'll be able to do that before you head out on Monday. So awesome.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Oh, we got something in the chat. Make sure this isn't. Oh, you're welcome, James. Thank you. Very informative. We do our best. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for using Pozotron, and have a great weekend.
See ya. Thanks for joining.